There you go. Okay, so challenge-wise, we haven't been doing the challenges like normal. I've been telling everybody, hey, we should do these Drawtober challenges. I've been doing them. I am going to have to jump in and do the third one, which is what, Dreadful Dining or something like that. What's it called? Let me pop over to the Drawtober Discord. Yeah, Devious Dining. So Devious Dining's going on right now. It's going on for the next couple of days. I think it ends on the 15th, and so I've got plans on the 15th. So I'm gonna have to work on it today or tomorrow. I'm not gonna be doing a drawing stream. Severa Rain, welcome. I don't think I am going to do it live on stream, because boy have those been tough. Really, really challenging to get through all these. So trying to draw on stream is like a new kind of challenge for me. I think if I were to come in with a bit of a, what do you call it, a sketch coming in, it would be easy for me to go and like maybe work on some pencil rendering and stuff. So that's still on the table because we still got plenty of October left. Are we going to do both the two next prompts at the same time next Friday? Well, so we've got a couple of people. We're going to take a quick look over at what we've got since last time. Keiku came back and did a little bit more of a... I think I saw this one before, but man, I really like this. Keiku, what a great job. One's doing the 15th and the other one's on the 20th. Yeah, this has got to be for Mothbitten Library. Because I see books, I see mods. This looks so good. I love the color on this. Composition on it's fantastic. Great job, Keiku. I do not know how you didn't get a bone zone on this. Another good entry from Waving, Mothbitten Library. I am really happy to see some of you guys participating in this, but I haven't been putting a lot of emphasis on it. So it makes sense that, you know, we haven't been seeing a ton of reaction to it. Eliana Bastidas. Oh, we got a sad one. This must be for Overgrown Cemetery. So we didn't put out any bananas last time, and Keiku, who I think this is a very banana-worthy piece, already has one. You know what, Severa, I'm giving you a banana this week because I love the amount of work you did on the pointillism. Crazy amount of effort on doing this stippling. I've tried stippling. Yeah, you got a banana. The stippling is so hard, and you've done such an incredible job of it here. And this is a great looking piece, and it's so cool to see that you did it traditionally, even in a pretty small size. Super challenging, super interesting, and you're showing up here. So thank you thank you for participating. I'm giving you a lifetime banana. So congratulations. Good to see you, Caliber. Delia. It's so yeah, that's it. This is for as deep as it goes. We don't have a single entry for the what do you call it? We don't actually have a very very excited for the next prompt. Yeah. So I think one of the things we've been talking about is doing a switching up the way that challenges are done and doing like a tournament. And the tournament would, what I'm imagining is that like we're going to do a tournament where there's a series of prompts that people follow, and then there's going to be voting, and there's going to be winners. But even after you're eliminated, you're still able to like or even if you don't want to join the bracket in proper, you're still able to post the prompts. And so I want to do the challenges where we're going to be focused a little bit on creating some friendly competition. That's going to be following Drawtober. So Drawtober, like the way that the submissions work, already requires you to post it in a bunch of different places. You already have to post it on either Twitter or Instagram. Then you need to have the Drawtober hashtag, and then you need to have the prompt hashtag. And then if you want to win some of their daily prizes for Drawtober, you also need to be posting it over on their Discord. So it's like a lot of places of posting, a lot of rigmarole. it's not directly related to Huckleberry, and it's also not on the same schedule. So I want to keep going where I'm going to continue to try to do these challenge prompts. I encourage you guys to do them along with me and try to see if you can get like a one done per prompt. I think you have a 5-day window for each one, which is extra challenging. And then, once we're done with that, I'm going to look into putting up the Huckleberry Tournament of Champions, or whatever we're going to call it, and see if we can create some friendly competition on the server to bring people in and see who's going to take home the top prize, be the top banana. So that'll be a thing. But I'm busy. I'm getting ready for my trip to Lightbox in like a week or so. About a week and a half. I'm going to be going out to LA to Lightbox, seeing some of you guys in person, and I've got a big giant 150-pound crate that I'm going to be shipping in a few days, and I've got some books shipping from my warehouse over there, so I'm going to have a ton of stuff with me, prints and books and decks and everything. Vital DPM, hello. You there in the back with your hand raised. It's going to be, let's see. It's going to be, it's been a lot of work to prep along with trying to get other stuff done. I finally got my Chariot piece done, but I haven't gotten around to posting it. And then I've started on The Lover, which is the final tarot card I haven't touched yet. So I'm spinning a lot of plates right now. And then I've got this Kickstarter that's going for like another week. And that crossed 100K in funding. And so I'm really excited to like wrap that thing up. And, my big goal for the future is to focus down and focus on the things that are really important to me. Huckleberry is on the top of that list right now. And so after we're done with Drawtober and the challenges there, we're going to be mixing things up a little bit and putting a little jet fuel into the whole Huckleberry engine, seeing how it goes. But it's going to be exciting. And right now, it's like, for me, it's a very scattered time. But on the server, it's a very relaxing time. Rather than focus on challenges, we've been doing a lot of focusing on hanging out. We had a little bit of a movie night last night, stayed up watching Jackie Brown. And then we were also, every day I see there's just a ton of people in the chat hanging out, chilling, chit-chatting. It's not a big, like, weird try-hard mixer where people are, like, trying to all be awkward in a way that they feel like they're leaving a good impression. It's just a bunch of people hanging out, interested in art, talking about what's important to them, and, sometimes helping each other out with the whole pursuit of art thing. So there's going to be more of that, and, we're going to keep building layers onto this thing. I just finished my first round of mentorships, and most of the people who were with me decided to re-up, but there was a couple of empty slots, and they sold out within about 10 minutes of opening up. So I wish I don't have anything. Hey, Summer. I wish I had the announcement to say, hey, there's some mentorship slots available, but within 10 minutes of them going up, they already got filled. And so it's full again. I'm going to be opening up. The plan is to open up another time slot later in the day and have 5 more slots for people to be able to join me and work closely with me on so I can help them build their art careers. The next class is probably going to open up like next month, I think. So I sent out an email to everybody who was signed up on the waiting list, and I'm sorry, I don't think anybody who was on the waiting list got the email fast enough, because it was people who are active in the Discord that ended up actually getting the announcement first. And so, and then we've also got some other teachers that we've been talking with who might be interested in coming on and teaching with Huckleberry as well. So we'll see how that's coming together. And in the meantime, that's all the community-related activity that's fit for print. I kind of want to check out what's been going on in the dailies. I had a lot of fun. I did this daily on a different stream yesterday. I had a lot of fun with it. Is the thing that I thought was going to be interesting was this really kooky pose. But actually what turned out to be interesting about it was the way that the shadows kind of all blended together to make these big flat areas. And I wish I had sort of figured that out and focused on it early on. But yeah, instead of it was a really challenging piece, but I actually was really happy with how it came out. Alex Just Art posted this thing saying, "Oh yeah, struggled with this one," and I'm kind of struggling to believe that because this came out so good. Alex Just Art, I don't know your art that well, but damn, like what a great study. It's always great seeing people come through here and like Jack Lack's still out here putting out monsters just about every single day. Oh man, the study from Jack looks great. This is a style that I've always really been curious about. This kind of like, hey, everything's made out of exploding brushstrokes except for there's like this beautifully painted face. Jake, the legendary Jake Frames Posh, is I think he's been having some late nights, you know, trying to keep going with the concept art hustle. Oh man, very spicy robot. Been seeing them around the chat a lot. These cat warriors are incredible. I love this guy. Oh, Marek. I don't feel like I know Marek. This is great. This is a great piece. Vital's getting into spooky season with looks like ballpoint pen. Vlad's got really interesting reference for this one. Avalon, this is a good start. Should do more of it. Oh, her egg key. Their stuff is so weird. Like the way that they abstract work, the reference is always so interesting to me. Makes me want to give it a try. Oh, there's Alex again, just tearing it up. Great job, Alex. Tikkun. Oh man, really captured likeness well, and I love the expressive colors. The little mixtures of pink and teal throughout the skin tone, you know, reflecting the background colors. That's always a good look. Oh, whoa, Delia. I've been seeing Delia mess around with her style a little bit and her work method. And the stylization on this came out awesome. Great job. Jackalack, tearing it up with the pens. I love Jackalack's pen work. Mark with this super economical study. Dang. Gotta give that a try one of these times. Challenge myself to see how few brushstrokes I can do. Addict is always up to weird stuff, always making new things. I love to see it. Chung's got a great study here. Really putting his own spin on it. And Nick has been hanging around a lot. Wonderkind Nick Zinders. Drawing lots of anime girls. Oh, man, you know, I posted this one, and I really wanted to try this. The studies that other people were posting for it came out so good. Ooh, Taha. Oh, wow, look at this. Look at the way that, like, these brush strokes are kind of, like, forming these kind of geometric facets inside the sleeve. This kind of, like, very broad, but, like, it doesn't look rough. It looks, like, precisely assembled, but also kind of, like, broad and loose. Is, like, a really cool vibe, especially mixed with, like, the smoother, tighter, more intentional painting across the face and hands. Dang, what a cool study. And then I keep scrolling past these Guanto pieces that I'm just like, feh, they're all incredible. What to say about seeing really great, you know, plain air gouache studies? This is like Guanto's living the life that I wish I was living. I was just like out and about, touching grass and painting outside more often. This looks kind of like me. Oh, Silight's super creamy. Rendering style is always a pleasure to see. Oh, yeah. Very cool. Hiraki should pop on the chat one of these days. See them on the dailies all the time, doing incredible work, but I don't think I've seen them around socializing. I haven't browsed. I just feel like I haven't browsed through here recently. Dang, Chong, what a... What a cool treatment on this study. Oh, this came out so good. The values, such a strong start, and then I think that the really simple color treatment on top of it really sells it. Then Min's out here creating an entire new IP, another new roster. Always building, always creating new stuff. Got that gradient map. Got that gradient map flow. LGN, really strong drawing with the gradient map over the top to create those weird colors. So cool. All right, if you want me to see your stuff and you want to participate along with all the studies, all you need to do is do a daily study and then go ahead and post it in the Dailies channel. It's free. We love seeing new members around here. It's a great way to get your stuff noticed by the rest of the community. We've got a lot of cool people in this community, and they're always making new dailies and posting them up here. You don't need to be good at art. You don't need to be good at anything. You just need to spend an hour or two making a new drawing. And I've even got a reference channel here for you. If you can't figure out what reference you want to use, a lot of the ones that you're seeing in the dailies come from this reference channel where I'm posting one figure and one environment. Every other day-ish. It's like the days where I'm doing my own studies, I always remember to post it. And then other days I like try to remember to post it. But I have been letting everybody down in terms of my overall reliability in terms of posting daily reference. I'll see what I can do about getting those numbers up. All right, and so with that, I'm going to switch it back to the main cam here, and we're going to get started on today's study. Nexty. Doing gesture and face practice. Got to get back into mixing studies and trying to work on imagination. You can post gesture and face practice inside the dailies also. There's not a rule about what constitutes a daily. I think for me, a daily is something that you kind of aspire to do on a daily basis, and that kind of requires it to start and end on the same day. So anything that you're kind of starting and finishing on the same day, I think counts as a daily. So if you're sitting down and doing like gesture and face studies, like feel free to post them in the dailies. Show off the way that you do dailies. Oh, there's in a gesture channel instead. I'm always thinking we might have too many. We got the gesture drawings over here. Okay. I always want to make sure that we don't have too many channels on the Discord, because I find that too many channels spreads things out. It makes it feel a little thin. I want people to see where the engagement is and be able to feel like they can jump in. So, I want to maybe I'll take a little bit of house cleaning and see if there's a way we can crunch things down a little bit, because there's always stuff being added. Hi Zodiacs, how's it going? So, Dustin tells me that when I tell you guys to follow, it helps our numbers. So if you're not following already, go ahead and follow, and then you'll get notified whenever I go live on Twitch, which right now is about 3 times a week. Follow PLSTYTY, whatever that means. LMFAO? Weird. HOWDY. Huh. Hey, Georg, how's it going? All right. Severa, thank you so much for the sub. Really appreciate it. Follow for real, on God, heart emoji. Fire emoji, rocket emoji, ape emoji. Really appreciate it. All right. I want to try a different way of painting today. I don't know why. I'm just like, feeling a little bit, I want to switch things up just a little bit. Don't know why. Don't know what that feeling is. I guess I always want to experiment with these a little bit. I don't respect English grammar. Yeah, yes, I know how young people speak. The young people, they're always saying for real, on God. I feel like the amount of memeing all that stuff gets is like forcing all of the Gen Zers to like go ahead and switch it up. Maybe they've invented some sort of new secret language that like an elder millennial like me hasn't quite tuned into yet. I'm certain that they're hiding out there in their Gen Z caves, coming up with new plans on how to confuse and confound us with their peculiar speech patterns. Yesterday, spending several hours testing and organizing new brush packs. Exhausting. I know. That's the reason I always use the same brushes over and over again. I've been pushing myself to do the same sort of thing. Organized them into simple favorites and said, screw the rest. That's what I've got. See, I've got my Pete's Brushes tab here. It's got just a handful of favorites that I know how to use. And then everything else is in hell. Organized by whoever I got them from. And then all of the Photoshop defaults. Oh, why is the Devon plant brushes all the way down there? Devon's brushes are so numerous as to be difficult for me to parse. My old calcified brain. Pinterest has the weirdest faces. It's true, Art Sub. There is no shortage of intensely weird, sort of goat-like people hanging around on, with their photos hanging around on Pinterest, seems like. So, you may be asking yourself, should I do a study like this? Is this the way that I should be laying out my study when I go to make a photo study for myself? The answer is no. I don't recommend anyone ever follow along with doing things the way that I do them. Things that I'm doing, like drawing pictures, posting artwork on the internet, trying to help teach people about art, those are all things you should repeat. All of my opinions about political and art matters, you should repeat those as well. But when it comes to my art process, I think it's always a matter of experimentation. Wow, that doesn't look right at all. Gotten completely wrong. I feel like I've got tunnel vision all the time. My attention is so slim. Like the part of the image I see when I look at it closely is so tiny. My view is like this big. So that's one of the things I struggle with, is getting sort of a larger context, trying to zoom out mentally. It's tough for me. I don't know how much that is like equally true for everyone. So, Pete, I have Photoshop, Windows 10, Wacom tablet. Perhaps you could help me solve. When I hold the pen tip to the tablet for a millisecond too long, it opens up the brush window. I couldn't find any feasible way to turn that off because it turns off pressure sensitivity. Any suggestions? This is new to me. You hold down the tip too long and it does like some sort of long press. I'm guessing that there is something in Windows Ink that like they have something where it's like a long press equals right click. My solution to all of the shit that Windows Ink does is to figure out a way to switch it over to using WinTab. Look up how to use WinTab. How to use WinTab drivers in Photoshop. Google that and then see if you can find a tutorial that'll help you get it running, because the goal is to turn Windows Ink off. Pulling up the Wacom tablet properties, we can see use Windows Ink. Unchecked. We do not want Windows Ink. CSP just like lets you select WinTab. Yeah, CSP makes it easy. I do that and it turns pressure sensitivity off. That's right. So you do this, you turn Windows Ink off, but then you replace it with WinTab. So if you can get WinTab to work, the pressure sensitivity will work right again, and it will solve a number of issues that are caused by lag. And also, like, I don't know if you noticed this, but like when I press like the Alt key and stuff, there's not like a little yellow box that pops up that says Alt next to my cursor. When I'm holding down hotkeys, it doesn't pop up a little like tooltip next to it. That tooltip lags the interface, and that is, you can't turn that off using Windows Ink. So if you get rid of Windows Ink, that thing goes away too. There's a number of reasons to like bust Windows Ink and kick it out. It's one of those things that like, I feel like I should write a tutorial on. I should make a YouTube video about like, hey, here's this like annoying technical thing that basically everyone, pro or beginner, should like learn about and how to use and how to disable, because it's so inherently bad. It causes so many issues that like it sort of behooves all tablet users on Windows to figure out what's going on with it and try to like get it to stop doing whatever it's doing. Which is strange, you know? You'd think that these companies that make all of the professional hardware and software that everyone uses, they would know about this kind of stuff and they would like fix it. But nope. It is up to us power users to determine our future. Where did I post the photo for the daily? Ah, yes. So there is a under the learning tab, there is a channel called Today is the Day. And I would say it is sometimes hidden. And if you're having a hard time finding it, go up to the top and go to Browse Channels. Browse Channels will give you a list of all the channels. And some of them, and you might need to like intentionally follow it, or follow the category in order to get it to appear. Because Discord tries to solve the problems of there's too many channels on a server by just hiding them randomly, which is not appreciated. One more thing where big tech invades into our lives, I guess. Big tech. It was hidden, yes. This is known. I gotta figure out a way to like make it so that we can tell the server, hey, please don't auto hide these handful of like important channels, because there's a few channels that I care about people knowing about. Like during the mentorship, like all the mentorship channels were all being auto hidden away from people. I was like telling them like, go here and post your portfolio, and this is where you put your homework. And people were like, what are you talking about? Like, where? Those channels don't exist. Pesky Discord, back at it again. Gotta chase Discord out of the kitchen with the broom every once in a while. Yeah, and they've had like all kinds of like weird crashes and stuff too, like where it'll just, everyone in the world will spontaneously go full robot mode, and then like it'll lag and then reconnect and stuff. I really love Discord as a product, but yeah, the tech behind it always feels a little shaky. Oh yeah, we hit level 3 on server boost, and thanks to you guys. That's the max level, which means we get to do max quality audio and max quality video. We get to have stages. We could host webinars with stages that hold up to 300 something people, I think. DDoS attacks happening. Ooh. Yeah. So it's not the service is shaky. It's that there are internet terrorists out there that don't want us to have Discord. Yeah, so the level 3 server is really cool. It makes it really easy for us to tell people about the server because now we get our own custom URL. It is just discord.gg/Huckleberry. If you ever want to invite anybody, you don't need to look up what the link is. Pesky artists, all terrorists. Well, not them. Yeah. Sure. Let's just say, yeah. Always out there. Invading the world with their JPEGs. Beware, the JPEGists are around. I am late, but I finished a little gift for you, Pete. Lousy ad. It is in weekly final. Ooh, what do we got? Let's see. Weekly final. Oh, a new animation. What is happening here? What am I looking at? It will end soon. Hurry up. So we've got this moth. Is this Azrael is back here smoking a cigarette? And then the moth dies, and then is it inhaling cocaine? What is the moth doing? It's like it's pulling energy out of the dust. Is this related to some dumb thing that I said, and then now it's a meme, and I don't remember what it was? Thank you so much. Loving the animations too. Oh, you got it fixed. You got the WinTab thing working. Thank God. I do like it, Milan. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you putting in time to make weird, dumb animations for my sake. No higher compliment in the world. I'm surprised at how fast you were able to get WinTab up and running. I really struggled to get it it going, and so I'm really happy that it didn't turn into such a long mission for you. But yeah, did you do that thing where you have to make the text file and then put it in the installation directory? What is my favorite angel for my work? I think maybe Metarial Angel of Rain, oddly enough. Just really think the design. I think I just really like the design. I like all the old school Seraphim. Metarial Angel of Rain, like Sahakiel Angel of the Sky. Those ones that have really geometric heads and kind of exaggerated body proportions and stuff. They to me represent the kind of original vision for Angelarium, and are some of my favorites. I also really like Azazel. He's kind of like a bit of a moody protagonist for the series. I really like Azrael. He's I think about this character all the time. I really like Raziel. He's I don't know, such a pest. And I don't know. I have a lot of connection to a lot of these angels that I've made. So let's see. I don't have the scale of this exactly the same. I should probably get the facial features scaled relative to each other. Because they're going to end up saying a lot about the proportions, not the proportions, the perspective. perspective is what I care about. Even if, like, you know, the shoulder isn't exactly right or whatever, I don't care. What I really care about is this upward angle and the kind of like motion of the face is what's really driving this piece, and that's what I want to make sure that I get correct. I think there's a lot of stuff that's going to be changing next month. I'm going to change the way we do weekly challenges. I'm going to be changing my streaming schedule. I'm potentially going to be finished with the first pass on the major arcana, so I'm going to be shuffling around my priorities a little bit on the Angelarium side of things. I've been talking about this kind of stuff a lot with people, with friends, and with Anya, trying to like talk about, you know, what do I want to do, when what's the next move, and how is this all coming together. So there's been a lot of discussion about like changes I want to make, and I'm realizing that they're all kind of hitting at the same time. And I'm gonna be done with the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter's gonna be in the rear view. Gonna just be waiting for production to finish on those decks. It's already kind of rolling, and you know, it's scheduled to be finished sometime late January. Hey Yarrow, how's it going, man? She's got an interesting ear. Like the plane up here, instead of getting a lot of folds, it's very flat. I was wondering why I skipped the features of the ear, and then I realized, hey, there's not a lot going on there. January, that's so soon. I know. Well, January is when the production on the decks is supposed to be done, and so we're going to be doing shipping on all of them in February. So I'm going to have to sign a couple hundred decks, a couple hundred books, get those in the mail, while the warehouse is going to be handling all of the other shipping, international stuff. The main thrust of the whole campaign is going to be done through my warehouse shipping partner that I already work with. So that's going to be easy to get all that rolling. Part of the reason that I've been excited to get this thing done is because, unlike all of my previous Kickstarters, a lot of it is not falling on my shoulders. I have a lot of systems in place that are going to make this thing go really smooth. And with everything, all the work being done on it already prior to launching the campaign, that means that I don't have these like long cycles of updates and apologies and delays and stuff that I have to worry about. It's all going to be really simple. I've been thinking a lot about YouTube recently. I'm resisting the urge to sort of jump deeper into making YouTube content. I'm going to do it. It's going to happen. But the reason I'm resisting the urge is because I want to focus on building the educational stuff for Huckleberry first. And then use YouTube as a means of sort of like expanding the kind of culture of the project. Get it out to more people. Talk about the kinds of things that we're interested in, you know, collaborate with more other artists, create produced video content for free, that kind of thing. So I've been thinking about the kinds of videos I want to make a lot, and like I'm watching a lot more artist YouTube. I never watched artist YouTube before. And yeah, it's been really interesting. there's a lot of people out there who are making some really good stuff. I remember back in my day, YouTube, art YouTube was just really different. Things were a lot less conversational, a lot less informative, a lot more of just like kind of sitting around watching somebody paint with no commentary. But nowadays, it's like people are really up to a lot more. They're going a lot deeper into it. A lot more conversation, a lot more awareness over like issues that affect artists. A lot of really open talk about money and, you know, what it takes to like be a working artist. It's exactly my interest, so it's like I'm kind of itching to be able to participate in all of it. The production value is getting pretty good on art YouTube. Yeah, that's the other thing. The production value is getting excellent. I was already like pulled away from YouTube a little bit by the fact that it required, you know, editing and stuff. But now that Dustin and I are working together, you know, he's able to collaborate with me on this, and we can treat it as a collaborative project between the two of us instead of me having it be one more skill set and one more like list of tasks that I need to handle on my own, which is how I've treated my independent art career up to this point. But a big change that I've been making over the last couple of years is to make my whole art career a little bit more collaborative. I've tried that in the past, and I've had failures because I didn't know how to collaborate, how to bring people in. But I've been figuring it out bit by bit, and I've been having a much easier time figuring out how to like find like a common method for working with other people. You know, what are good places where I can like trust somebody to handle something instead of taking everything myself? How can I let somebody else like take the reins on things that I want to see done, but like find a way where we both want to see it done and let them handle it? There's been a bit of that here and there, and it's allowed me to really extend my time and do more. Exactly the point of the whole thing. All right, I don't do this very much. Just really curious. Because I'm kind of kidding myself a little bit on like how accurate this really is. It's not that accurate. I could fix some of this stuff later, but I could start to build in some of these like softer gradients into this thing right now. Just feels like oversized because I have it cropped in tighter on the edges. And so I have this impulse to want to like kind of shrink the whole thing down a little bit to give myself a little more real estate. That would require me to draw the top of her head. Oh, that's maybe a little tangenty right there. Maybe I just switch up my format a little bit, match the format a little closer. Wouldn't be too much of a crime. It's just throwing me. Hey Kevin, how's it going, man? Hey, Kevin, do you do YouTube at all? Do you make YouTube content ever? I don't think I wouldn't know. I kind of don't know who's in the game and who isn't. That's a little more comfy. So what am I screwing up? That's the question. And should I be cheating to figure it out, or should I be challenging myself to find and bust these changes, these differences? Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Kevin McGivern here is a really great artist. He's really good at super high detail rendering and likeness. You made a couple videos. Actually, really enjoyed the process. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just thinking about like when we were doing research, one of the most common topics that just like got clicked on a lot was like how to draw a photorealistic eye. It was like a meme at a certain point, like, oh my god, over and over and over again. It's always the same prompt. Finding stuff to say, it's true. Like, even if you have all the knowledge and it's knowledge people want and you have a perspective on it, turning it into a script I find to still be fairly challenging. I was just thinking like, man, you know, like that the simplest thing that people actually want out of YouTube seems to be how to draw a photorealistic eye. And honestly, of all the artists that I've met over the years, Kevin, you could probably do a better photorealistic eye pencil drawing than just about anyone I've ever met. So I'm like wondering if you should, maybe there's like room out there for you to like capture some of that attention. I feel like one of those, like you're at I feel like it's like I'm like a family member at a family function. I'm like, oh, you know what you should do? My grandson loves playing those video games. You should design that Fortnite. Just talking about shit that I don't know, telling somebody what they should do. Thought about making videos like that, but figured there must be so many like that already. I gotta tell you, I think there's room. I think that like if you were to do slightly better job on like the first 10 seconds of the video, sort of making the sort of pledge of the video a little bit more interesting than the average one, and that you had a really good thumbnail, and then you did a really great job on the content itself afterwards, just like really good. You can do a better realistic, you know, photorealistic drawing of an eyeball than just about any other artist. So if you nailed those fundamentals, I have a feeling that your video would probably find some traction. And then you could go make some other videos that are genuinely more interesting. If you wanted to, of course. Who knows? Maybe we'll, if we ever decide we want to do a YouTube video on how to draw a photorealistic eyeball, maybe we'll reach out. Even if you make that, it's hard to keep them coming with ideas. It's true. It's true. It's true. You could be like, how to draw a photorealistic dog. Yeah, like that is like the scary part for me also, is like if I stop and I try to think of what's a great idea for a YouTube video, I'm like trying to draw off of like what I think is the most valuable knowledge that I've developed over the last 20 years. But the problem there is like, okay, well, if I plumb the depths of 20 years of experience and I produce a pretty good video, what do I talk about next? Like what? It'd be like, okay, well, that took me 20 years of learning to be able to make that video. Like, what is the next one going to be? But I've been thinking about that problem a lot, and I've been getting some ideas and sort of just trying to like at least research, you know, what are other people trying to do? How are they approaching that problem? And it's becoming obvious like that there are some set solutions to like how do you make more and more content all the time infinitely for a platform like YouTube that has a sort of infinite appetite for new and novel videos. And yeah, I think that there is a real solution out there. It's not the sort of thing I feel like I can speak on now though, because I'm just not an expert in it. But it's like, it's slowly clarifying. The more I think about the problem and I research the problem, the more I feel like I've got some sort of clarity on how to attack that.
Are we doing an XP pen for the giveaway?
Oh yeah, we could do a giveaway. It turns out the ones that I thought were like risky about whether or not they were going to arrive ended up arriving just fine. So It's been a challenge. We've been giving away these tablets for people who need tablets. Just a regular pen tablet, something easy like an XP pen or Huion, depending on what's available in your country, and just having them shipped from the local Amazon. And yeah, it's been a lot of me trying to figure out the checkout flow in Amazon in Polish or French, because I can like switch it to a different region, but I can't switch to a different region and have it in English, which is getting interesting. It's a little bit more than I was thought I was signing up for, but you know, I wanted to do it throughout the first 3 months of me being on Twitch, and we're coming up on the end of that. Feels silly to drop it now. So Dustin, if you want to set up that giveaway. We're going to set up a giveaway in the Discord. All you're going to need to do is click on the emote that's in the giveaway channel for this week's giveaway, and you'll be entered to win. We're going to do a drawing in about an hour. We're going to give away a free tablet to somebody. And you don't even need to be in the US to do it. There you go. There's a link in the chat. The ideal scenario would be to create searchable content combined with more fulfilling content. The one for them, one for you approach. Could be. Or maybe you find somewhere along the lines that there is a way of kind of doing both. Like, what if there's a way to like make things perpetually that are interesting to you that are also interesting for an audience? It's hard to say. And it's hard to say without saying. Few entries so far. Yeah, so if you look on the Discord here, under the text channels on the top, there's the Friday giveaway. You just hit that button right there, that celebration emote, and you're entered to win. And we're giving away a free one. That's all you need to do. If you don't have a pen tablet, or if you've got a teensy tiny one, this one's going to be a 6x10 pen tablet. 8,000 levels of pressure sensitivity. Nothing super fancy. It's either going to be like a Huion Inspiroi or a XP Deco Fun. 6x10 inch. I don't know how many centimeters that is. If somebody wants to tell me how many centimeters that is in the chat, I'm welcome to be informed. Okay, I've been kind of faffing about with this. That reminds me, I haven't seen Kim in a bit. I'm faffing about with this a little bit. I'm going to move on to just, Kim's a bit hard at work arting. Okay, that's a good reason. Where's my soft brush? So the point of the soft brush here is really just to try to like create a little bit of extra free rendering. A lot of what rendering is creating soft gradients, soft transitions that run sometimes over very short distances, like the fold on an eyelid. But oftentimes, like the whole pattern of rendering goes from sort of light to dark across longer stretches across the figure. And it's easy to get lost in these kind of like small contained areas of detail and see the gradients that exist in those spaces. But what you miss out on sometimes is like the way that it's like the face is kind of darker here by the chin. You can see that the halftone here on the chin is like a little bit darker than like up here. So it's brighter. We definitely have a little bit of a brighter spot here and a little bit of darker down there. And so I want to reproduce that a little bit so that we don't need to like make micro adjustments to the values at that level, but look at it in a more broad scope a little bit first. See if we can get a bit of that ironed out. And then when we go on to the details on top of it, the whole thing should feel a little bit more rendered naturally. It's been a hack of mine during these studies. And the other upshot of it is that I can kind of overdo it at this stage when it's still early and I don't have a background in, because every bit of excessive soft brush that I use is going to get ironed out by the next steps. So at this point in the process, it's really tough to finish things with soft brush. It's not a very good way to soften up something that's already kind of like chunky looking. It's not a very good rendering tool, but I find it to be pretty useful here in the early stages. Yeah, let's see it before and after. So you can see it goes from a little bit more flat to a little bit more volumetric. That kind of general low pass, like, shading is the thing that I've always struggled with a little bit, and so this has been a real help to like just take it just a little, zoom out a little bit and focus on the bigger shapes earlier on. Okay, what do we want to do background wise? She's weird and off. So I'm gonna maybe do a little bit of green. Play off of that. I'm kind of curious, my previous studies, there's like a couple of studies that I'm thinking back on that I wish I would do something else similar to that. I'm curious, what did I do for the background for some of these? My folder here. I was doing this thing where it was like faded out gray skin and then like a couple of color highlights. I thought that was a cool look. Kind of moved away from it because I felt like I was using it as a crutch. You know, I was able to produce good ones that were like, you know, kind of full color all over. I was happy with that. And then some of the gray moved to the background. Some of these other ones. This is one of my favorite ones, and it was like 20 studies ago almost. And this was like, you know, using a kind of single color note to create a background that like influenced the color on the figure, which I really liked. Similar sort of situation here, but this is also like the color palette from the reference, which made it a lot easier. There was one I was thinking about. I can't remember. Where is it? It was early on. Oh, this one was kind of interesting because I just like pushed the color and the contrast in a very, very different way from the original reference. Something I should do again, but I'm not sure is like the right choice for this. Well, maybe it is. I could see a version of it that works like that. Started with the gray skin, and it's also got a desaturated background. And then the color hits come in other places. I'll give that a shot. It's making me feel a little nervous. Not always a bad sign. So maybe we'll say, screw the skin tone, do something weird with it. We've got black hair, so not a lot of color there. Burlap sack for an outfit, very hipster. Maybe we try to do something along the lines of that purple guy. Pick a color and then have that color inform the rest of it. So if I was going to do something like this, then I would end up having to do like a green mixed into the skin tone. Try to have it look like she's sort of in a green room rather than a white room, because this is just a little bit boring and unchallenging for my tastes. I want to try to repeat some of my past successes. Not just use this as an excuse to kind of like phone it in and call it a day. Yeah, I was thinking that too, that the green contrast with the red accents. So it would probably be green with some red accents in the end. But I wanted a weird, gross green, because she seems like a kind of weird, gross hipster. She's got her, like, burlap sack outfit and this kind of, like, bored, distant expression. You know, gives off a certain vibe, and I think that the color here can help carry that vibe. One of the things I was thinking about doing on the stream for when I was changing things up was I'm almost at 100 of these. I still kind of want to push to 100, but I was thinking about on the stream maybe trying to do some imaginative landscapes. Because I'd done a couple of landscape studies, but I didn't feel like I got the same level of oomph out of them that I was getting. You can always spot a hipster by the looks. Nah, it's not always true. I'm pretty nerdy looking, but I have very hipstery tendencies. I'm just judging someone by their looks out in public. Don't mind me. Also, I like hipsters on top of that. So I was thinking about doing imaginative environments on my yeah, if you're enjoying the stream, and if you're not, hit the follow button. That way you'll know when I'm going live if you want to see more of it, and you'll get to insult me if you hate my guts. I'm a true hipster. That's the difference. Yes, I have a hipster soul. Yeah, if you think the stream sucks, you should hit the follow button so you know when you can come in and troll me. Hit me with all those troll emotes. This gradient map is immediately doing almost exactly what I was hoping for. Which makes me think like, ooh, uh-oh. Am I feeling not experimental? Is that the reason why it's like feeling good, is because I'm just like settling, quick to settle today? Or is it actually that good? Let's see. I want to get the sort of duller color temperature here, but I don't want something that diverts too warm. You know. What do I want in terms of the way that the green light reflects into the skin? More movement than the original, does it? So I don't want to just give her like Shrek skin. I want it to feel a little bit like, what did I do with this other one? It felt normal and natural while I was working on it, and I don't know why. Just had like a clean vision of it. So there's still some warmth of the skin tone coming through where the highlight meets the shadow. So in this case, the highlight ends up being tinted a little bit. The core specular is like still pretty pale. And then And we've got a little bit of the orange coming through. Sense of her, color of her. If I want to contrast, if I wanted like a little bit warmer, it might just be going, what if I just go with like a neutral, more like a really neutral gray for the areas that are intended to be a little bit, a little ruddy, a little like the redness of the lips and stuff. If I just go really, really gray with it. Then the green is kind of reflected in the shadows. I think this gradient map is wrong. Wrong for my needs, at least. I was like, oh, it's kind of tan and green. It's right. It's the right colors. It might be the right colors, but I think possibly in the wrong places. Yo, hello. Like this is a very, very different arrangement of color. Using the same kinds of colors. It might be more correct overall. It seems you are better with male characters. It's true. I am actually better at painting men. So all of like the pretty boy models, I've had a easier, more fun time painting, but I'm trying to keep things challenging for myself as well. So. Pull the values up a little bit. Some of these spots, they start peeking into the correct ranges to adopt the color I'm looking for. To be fair, most of your life experience is as a man. It's true. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. There's like a whole thing with like people definitely seem to be better at drawing one kind of gender or another, and it doesn't seem to correspond to their own gender, as far as I can tell. So this is generally the right pattern, but I'm wondering if I don't like with the specific colors yet. So yeah, also the way that this ramps here has this like really harsh end point to it. I think it might be better just to pull the oranges in a little. I also wonder if maybe just, going more gray with them overall is going to end up actually doing better work. Actually, maybe clamping them tighter is the right choice. And then this, I have this as a yellow, but It might be best to have the highlights kind of mimic the color of the background that it's reflecting. And then something in the shadows. Something in the shadows. Yuck, yuck, yuck. That looks awful. Truly bad. I wonder if maybe it would look good if this is like what I'm looking for here is a starting point, and I need to do some glazing over the top to get it to where I'm looking for it. Because doing it like these weird colors in a purely procedural way runs the risk of it giving too much of that gradient map look. Keep it maybe a little bit more monochrome. Alright, now the one question I'm left with is sort of this middle handle. Isn't the ambient color go in the shadows? Yeah, that's why I'm like, I'm thinking it definitely needs to push down to a green down towards the bottom. Doesn't need to be the right green, I don't think. Could even go for like a bluish, more of a cyan color. And one of the things I'm planning on doing is bringing in anything that's reflected light. Like right now, what we don't have is the color of the reflected light. You can see the reflected light hitting like the underside of the chin and stuff. That is definitely going to have to be colored with the background. So it's not just that shadows don't actually have any color at all. The reason why you have colored shadows is because you have colored fill light or ambient light. Too yellow, I think. I want the color that's mixing in here to sort of desaturate and pull everything down a little bit. I wonder if all of this very precise fussing is going to add up to something good in the end, or if I'm sort of just doing this all performatively. I can't tell. I want a little bit of a temperature shift on the burlap tunic thing here. Blue the right way to go? Even pukier green. Then the teal coming in off the highlight, maybe? That's what my instinct is telling me. There's something here. Like, this process, I don't know what I'm trying to do. The same thing I did with the purple guy. It's like, there's definitely a process here, and I'm kind of half understanding it and struggling through it kind of intuitively. But it's not the sort of thing that if somebody were to commission me for it, I guarantee I could pull it off 100% of the time. I don't feel like I'm totally getting it. But if I can get another win under my belt, I'll call it a successful day. So it'll be fine. Okay. From here, I can kind of see daylight, but I'm also kind of wondering if I should, if the changes that I want to go forwards with from here are best approached from, like a direct, like painting perspective rather than these kind of color glazes. I like this really saturated, like, shadow color that's leaked in here. I'm trying to figure out where else I can put it, because it's cool, and I want it to balance it out in the composition some. Reflected in the sclera, maybe? Sclera is the white part of the eye, right? I'm supposed to be the expert, I guess. Sclera, yeah. I'm looking for wherever, like, I'm seeing these kind of speculars and then trying to add a little cyan into them. And I'll mush between these kind of like grayish red and the green. Oh, and then there's going to be these red bits. The red accents. I'm going to add the line at the end just because I don't want to be painting around it. But that's going to look good. I think the red accents are going to tie this together. Maybe I'll just add a little bit of gradient in the background using a hard light so that I get a nice, like, more naturally mixed color than trying to do it with a normal later. She is ready for the Walking Dead, indeed. Okay. Smoother brush. Everything's kind of where I need it. I'm going to push a few colors around. I think I'm going to get it. Having all the pieces in the right place is like the whole struggle. Getting the final rendering together to me is like the easy part. You're a background actor for the show? That's cool. I remember seeing background casting calls go out back when I was living in Atlanta years and years ago. Back when the first or second season was in production. Yeah, Summer, tell us about your experience on The Walking Dead. Tiger V's asking, what's a background actor? My impression of it is that a background actor is like extras, people who are in the background in scenes. Sometimes people who are in the know would say, "Oh, I'm doing background work," meaning that they are like standing around and appearing in the background of shots and stuff. It did background in several TV shows and movies. Oh, all around Atlanta. Now, there's a lot of stuff getting filmed in the Atlanta area the last 10 years. Atlanta and Savannah, Georgia. Cool. What else have you done? You do Watchmen? I know they filmed Watchmen down there. I could recognize some of my old neighborhood in the background of Watchmen. Did you touch Daryl? What's his face? Yeah, Norman Reedus. Death Stranding actor Norman Reedus. Guy who looks handsome and also stung by a bee at the same time. Norman Reedus and the Funky Fetus. Baywatch, The Walking Dead, The Beginning of Everything. A couple of others. The Beginning of Everything. I've never even heard of that. And I didn't realize that they filmed Baywatch in the South rather than like out on the West Coast. I always thought of Baywatch as being a distinctly California thing. I guess my understanding of Baywatch is pretty limited. Having watched it in Channel 9 when I was a kid. They did a mid-ass winter for Baywatch. A bunch of background actors standing around trying to look like they're not freezing their asses off. Miserable on a windy, cold beach. Yikes. I mean, miserable in the cold is like the thing that I feel like I hear all the time from people who are in TV and movies. That like a lot of like doing background work or extras or whatever is a lot of sort of standing around waiting for shit to happen while you're either like boiling hot or freezing cold. You're either miserable and cold or scorching hot, yeah. I don't know, that's what people always seem to say about it. It is cool to be a part of something, though. And the clothes are not comfortable. I've never had that much temptation to be on camera. But I've known plenty of people who have gone and done stuff like that. Oh, a main zombie. Yeah, main zombie, you've got to have a bit of a gimmick, right? The one scene we zombies were getting mowed down by the main actors, I did a dramatic and realistic dead drop that the actor who hit me, a couple of others, suddenly ran over to check on me. Oh my god. That should get the ground fast. You're like, you popped up. No, that's acting. Then he gave a big bow and everyone clapped. Now that's how you do acting, Norman Reedus. Got chewed out. Yeah, I mean, making people concerned about you during the shoot is not I think what the people running the show are hoping for. Could see them being a little frustrated by that. Even if you probably fucking, you know, you sold the hell out of that dead drop. They're like, ooh, she bounced. Yikes. Not supposed to bounce. Just imagine like the reaction from the actors. They like kill a zombie, then you see them, they're like, ooh. Now, like I said, we just wore masks, so there's no makeup involved. Pro zombies say stay for about 4 or 5 hours getting prepared. Yeah. If you're deep in the background, I mean, you don't really need to put up with a lot of that hair and makeup stuff, I would imagine. I'm saying this like I know what's going on, but I mean, you were there. I've never done this personally. Too early, 2 hours early compared to us. 3 a.m. Yeah, everyone always talks about those early call times, and I don't know. I'm like an early riser. To me, it sounds like fun to like be getting up and getting that coffee pre-dawn. Everyone kind of filing in. Everyone's got their thing that they do. I like the idea of a movie set because it's like everyone's got a job. You know, people aren't just standing around going like, "So, what's the plan for today?" It's like everyone's got to like be up to something or doing something. Like it's such a group effort. That sounds like a lot of fun. A lot of group projects are a bummer because it's just like everyone's kind of just dragging their feet. But like when it comes to like having to do a professional thing, I mean, there's a lot of hurry up and wait is what I hear. But still, like, I mean, everyone's got their thing that they do. Everyone's got their thing that they're like specialized in, and they're all coming together to make something together. That sounds cool. You ended up babysitting Christina Ricci's son for a while. Is Z the beginning of everything related to like? Is that another zombie show? Is it like is the Z for zombie? I've never heard of that show. Clay Chibi says, I have a zombie story. I hope it's cool. My daughter was lost in a zombie flash mob one Halloween. What a terrible start. When she was 4, the zombies were dancing to some tunes and she was right in there dancing with them. Then when the music ended, the zombies moved on and our daughter with them. Oh no! Boy, that was anxiety inducing. We're like, where's Audrey? Then, fuck, she's with the zombies. Oh man, that is the dangerous part. Zirko New, welcome. Z, the beginning of everything. Oh, what the? That was not the period drama. Amazon, based on Z, a novel of Zelda Fitzgerald. Oh, I see. That makes sense. Yeah, if you give a child the opportunity to leave their life and just join a flash mob full of strangers in costume, they're gonna take it. I'm pretty confident that that's just, you know, you're going to have to go take measures to like get your child back. Oh, you're in 20s dress. That sounds like fun. Taking my sweet ass time with this today. It's been a slow progress, which is fine. I was just looking forward to doing a study today, more than anything, just to like hang out and paint. Since I've gotten in the habit of doing near daily painting, I look forward to the part of the day where I can just kind of like poke away at a canvas. It ends up being like a lot more relaxing and easy than other stuff that I have to do during the day. And like when the thing I need to do art-wise is to work on my main piece, it sometimes gets a little stressful and I can procrastinate on it. But like when it's something I know I'm going to start and finish and it's like always going to be done in a couple hours, I just get to feel like I can enjoy the process of painting again, more so than like, you know, feel like I'm always on the hook to be performing. I like the idea that the extras are also the on the hook to potentially like pick up for babysitting and childcare. They're like, you've got a 3 a.m. call time. This is where you go for makeup and costume. And if any of the famous people have any of their kids around, you're going to be needing to play hide and go seek or tag with them. May I ask a question based on what you've shared about your mentorship yesterday on Discord? How can one find their artistic vision in a completely new subject? I recently started practicing environments and struggling with finding what I actually want my environments to look like. I would say that when it comes to like finding what your own personal vision is for stuff, like the main difficulty of it is that you don't get to like pick anything. You know, you don't get to look at a bunch of art and say like, wow, I really like this art. I want my art to look like that art. And you don't get to like say, well, I'm going to work my way towards this style necessarily. Like you can learn a style and train to build it up. But if you're looking for your own personal voice, like you don't really get to pick it ever. So a lot of it comes down to like repetition, especially intense repetition where you're kind of working under duress. And you look for the things that you end up doing on accident. And you look for the ways in which you get things wrong over and over again. And you look for the ways that things are kind of naturally easy for you in ways that you didn't understand or expect. And you kind of try to accumulate all of that into a process that's going to lead you to like figuring out like what your style is. Because your style is often like a emanates from the process that comes naturally for you. So like you are, you know, you're trying out a lot of different ways of working, and there's just some of them that naturally work really, really well. But those ways of working also lead to like a particular look for the work. And so like a lot of discovering your voice comes down to like figuring out a process. So like if you're thinking about environments, some of it could be like, you know, the kinds of features in environments you have an easy time drawing will lead you to your voice, your style. Some of it is going to be like, you know, you are tending to work in a particular way, like using the tools in a particular way that makes it easier, or like you're getting better results drawing certain type of environments, whether it's natural stuff or like, you know, urban scenes or whatever. Oh, you love the eye? Oh, that's good. I'm like fine with the eye. You know, one of the reasons why the mentorship tends to be valuable to people is because it can be really difficult sometimes to figure out like what out of all the many things you're doing is like kind of unique to you. Like I found that people tend to have a pretty bad time or like a difficult time discovering what about what they do is like natural and easy for them that it's like hard for other people. Because their experience is that it's kind of easy and boring and obvious. But it's not easy and boring and obvious to somebody else. But they're not in somebody else's head, so they never really get a perspective on that. I was wondering if this is normal or if you know a solution about it. When I start working at something, I do the main focus really fast and cool in the first day. But then after that, the rest of it comes really slow, as in like takes a week or more weeks. Feels like a chore after the first day. Milan's asking, like, as a mentor, can I see what is unique about people that they may not see about themselves? Yes. That is one of the primary services of having a mentor, is not to like tell you to do homework, but to tell you like what about the work you're doing is like, you know, give you relevant feedback as far as like telling you like what about your work is like that you cannot identify for yourself. having a third-person perspective on yourself is really valuable in a lot of cases. When it comes to like starting off on a piece and like you knock in all the things that you're excited about really quickly and then it becomes a chore afterwards, I would say that sounds like a little bit of dysfunction on the side of your process. Like what order you do stuff is a big part of process. And if you're doing something that is causing the next steps to get way slower and more difficult, then I would say you're probably got something you could iron out. You got some sort of mistake in there that's worth taking a deeper look into. There is a point where finishing a piece of art can get kind of tedious and take a lot of extra time and feel a little bit frustrating to get back to. But it shouldn't be really that fast to get to a point where you're just feeling like you're trudging through it. So if you're going really, really fast from like loving painting to like hating painting, and then it takes you a really long time to finish, I don't know, I wonder if part of it is that you need to like scope your work differently. Because if it's a personal piece, like you shouldn't be picking something that's just going to be dragging on and on and on. I know for me, like the final details tend to be the most time-consuming part of the painting when I'm doing imaginative work. Because like roughing out like the values tends to come together really fast, and then it starts to slow down pretty dramatically after that point. Like once I have all the kind of problems solved in the image, there's still a lot of like, you know, rendering and surface detail, stuff like that, that all needs to get done. I was thinking that it might be about the internal library on background stuff, as I find it hard to fill the space. You might be putting too much stuff in your background. There's a temptation to want to like add a lot of crap in there, but if the main focus is in the foreground, I think spending those extra cycles on the foreground is probably going to do you better. Oh, we got a winner on the giveaway. Nicolette. Congratulations, you won a Huion Inspiroid graphics tablet. Only 12 entries, easy to win. I can type. I know how to type. And the point of the background, if you just want to fill space, I mean, just like throw some stuff that fills space. Like throw in content that is just, you know, more abstract or organic. You don't need to like be putting in a bunch of stuff in the background just for the sake of it. Focus on the parts. If it's a personal piece, focus on including only the stuff that you really care about. You don't want to turn art into a chore when it's like you're not even being paid for it. If you've got to do something like that or you want to challenge yourself, it's fine. It's just like I wouldn't get in there and like I wouldn't stress yourself out over it. I gotta keep it looser here as I'm trying to like fill out these areas that don't demand tightness but do demand more coverage faster. Give it a more relaxed approach. I mean, turn the background into something that you feel just as excited about as the character in the foreground. Rooms are such a pain for me as well. I have a hard time with interiors, but I've never really felt the need to make a lot of them. It's only come up a couple times in my professional career. I don't really aspire to make a lot of them for my own stuff. So I've just managed to skip them. I might put the line in on a separate layer because I am kind of curious about getting this line in. Yeah, I have a hard time with every aspect of interiors. Like, how does interior spaces are always constructed spaces, right? So it's like, well, what do people put in their homes or in a business or whatever? Like, there's always a lot of clutter around, and there's a lot of perspective on like walls and ceilings and stuff. And so the feeling of like camera placement feels a lot more like essential to like getting it to feel right. So there's a lot more about like how are you shooting the entire environment and not just like how are you shooting the figure. I feel like there's something color-wise that interesting that could be happening with the lips. The lips feel very dull, while in here they feel a little bit more I don't know, the red is popping out a little bit. So it's like, do I go with a more contrasting red? This dull red to create contrast for the lips? Then I've got a little bit of specular on there. A lot of my speculars are very green. Yeah, I feel like I could get perspective if I were to give it a real shot, but there's not been a point where I said to myself, like, damn, I sure would like to make a bunch of scenes in perspective. There's more movement in your sketch than the original photo. I like it. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm always trying to aim for that a little bit. I'm never quite sure if I'm achieving it. It's nice to hear that from a couple people today, that the my attempt at like kind of livening up the action of the photo is like working and not just looking like a series of mistakes. Honestly, I'm trying to like add a little bit of liveliness in it in an effort to make it more accurate, because I feel like by default I'm kind of tempted to want to make it a little more dull. Everything kind of flattens out, and so if I could add a little exaggeration, it feels like it gets closer to the target. Bringing in some of these little hits of orange to counteract with the green, and I'm liking the way that they're playing off of each other. Reminder for everyone, roses are red, violets are for you, Asians draw well, and you can too. Huh? Got ourselves a 14-year-old in the chat. All right, let's see. What happened to two lines art pieces that you're going to finish? Is it done? It is done. The chariot piece is done. I've been meaning to post it on Patreon first, but I tend to procrastinate with Patreon because it's important and it matters to me. Anything that's important and matters to me, I procrastinate on at least a little bit. So I have it on my to-do list for today to post it there, and then tomorrow I'll post it everywhere else. Starting on the next piece. It's a guy with a bow and arrow. The actual painting's more interesting than the loose description might suggest, I think. She's got these little red pins in here too, holding the thing together. Yeah, I'm always finishing paintings. I mean, it's like, I always feel sometimes like they're never ever going to be done. Like no matter how much I work on it, there's always stuff that's broken about it. There's always something I want to fix, and there's always like more that needs to be done in order to count it done. And it's just like it goes and it goes and it goes. I pick away at it evening after evening, trying to do other after I've done taking care of other stuff that's more time sensitive, and then eventually at some point I just look over and I'm like, oh, it's finished. It's time to start over. So the speculators in the hair ended up turning orange at some point, and I like kind of don't mind it. It doesn't feel like it matches the same way I was shading the skin, but I'm like, again, I kind of don't care that it's not. Wanja, Carla draws, huh? Take a look at that in a second. There's drywall dust haze in the entire house. Been so lost in these little tiny moments. I'm kind of looking around the whole painting again for the first time in a bit, thinking about all the little things that I'm going to regret not digging deeper on once I'm walking away from this study. It's starting to get to me. The fear is settling in. I'm pretty happy with how this came out, though. I mean, I'm saying, oh, the fear is settling or whatever. All these regrets are starting to pile up. Getting close to the end of it, and I'm thinking, oh no, oh no, oh no. I've, like, blown it. I haven't done all the things that I meant to do with this, and I'm running out of time, and I don't have, like, I didn't succeed in all of my goals, and I'm not going to have another shot at it, and so this is just, like, this is it. This is where it ends. But also, like, yeah, who cares? Like, I'm going to move on with my day. This is study work. This isn't for the museum, you know? There's not even a museum. It's for fun. It's for study. And it came out pretty good. And it's a million miles from where I started not too long ago. And I feel like my growth has slowed, but it has not stopped. Yeah, I was like, the thing that was the biggest question in my mind coming into this today was about the color. I was like, okay, I want to see if I can reproduce this method I did on this other piece that I don't really have a process for. I just got lucky on once, and I want to see if I can repeat it, but with a different color palette without referencing it too closely. And now here at the end, I feel like I've accomplished that goal. And so I get to count this one as a win today. Pretty solid win. But I am feeling a little impatient with myself, which has nothing to do with the performance of the art, I think. Just typical artist stuff, you know. I don't know what to do with these like absurdly weak eyebrows. I've never seen eyebrows this thin. It's like dark hairs, but it's like 12 total hairs for the eyebrow. It's so weird looking. You know what else I might be able to do? Pump up the eye color a little bit since I've got this green coming in already. Reflect that a little bit inside the eye. I wonder if that's gonna play. Just look like too try hard. They're just covered with concealer, so you only see the shadows. Oh, that's probably it. You're right. So one of the things I'm thinking about trying is to... Does it make sense to do this kind of gray wash over the top of it to isolate out some of that background? Just realized about 3 years ago I didn't know your works, and Mentor showed one of them as reference, and now I'm watching the stream. Feels nice. Well, I'm glad you found me. I thought this was Aurora, but now I'm not so sure. Thanks, Black Phillip. Well, you can show me on Thursday, Yarrow. Take a look at your thing. Or I'll probably see it on Dailies between now and then, actually, if you're going to post it. kind of going back and forth with like bits of color just to get this like natural chunkiness of like layers of paint sort of imprecisely laid over each other rather than faking it, just like actually do it a little bit. Last layer didn't really add anything. Just keep it simpler. She's all caked up on makeup. I was about to say caked up, and then I was like, wait a minute. That is a term that has multiple meanings. This girl does not appear to be particularly caked up in the classical sense. She is caked with makeup, which is not what people call caked up. I am going to add a little bit of my own concealer to her to push down some of those highlights. I think I've got it kind of too shiny. Except around the eyes, I like keeping it around the eyes. I want to add an gradient map over the top of this to see if maybe a little something something color-wise. I don't know. I want this thing to be as good as it can be, and so I'm trying to like push all the buttons. More blue over the whole thing. It's a bit much, I think. I like that. I like the craziness that's going on here. I would love to do a piece that like has this kind of intense color contrast that kind of whips back and forth like this. But not for this piece. What? I gotta Google that. Caked up? I'm sure you'll find Google results if you search for somebody who's caked up. Fully caked up and rizzed out. Go really toxic on the background like this is kind of cool. If I had more time with it, I think I could mix all this in a way that's like actually extra fun. Got to counterpoint those extreme colors with some gray. The beautiful gray. All right. I'm happy. I'm satisfied. The Lover Tarot. So the question I got from a fan who's like who's like one of my Patreon supporters for Angelarium. He's like, you know what? I don't like the Lovers Tarot. Classically, it was the lover, singular, and that the symbolism was slightly different. And so he was sending me all these like photos of classical examples and telling me, hey, you should make it the lover instead of the lovers. And I was like, ooh, singular character instead of two of them. Now you're speaking my language. So playing around with an idea for the lover. Steadies. 88. 88 is in the bag. Feeling pretty stoked about it. Actually, you know what? I might do one extra thing. One extra thing. It's kind of dull looking. It's going to look kind of dull since it hits the other monitor. I'm going to pump the contrast on it just a little bit, so that it doesn't look dull when it gets to a different monitor. I sometimes do that when I'm, after I've posted it, I'll post it and I'll look at it and go, ooh, not what I'm looking for. And then I'll have to like delete the post, go back, do the level adjustment, and then post it again. And that's like not what I'm going to do here. Just going to like preemptively do the level adjustment. Okay. Hold on a second. I need to make a. All right. I'm gonna post this, and then we're gonna raid, and I'm gonna log, because I have things going for my attention. Dailies. There we go. Happy with it. Very happy with how fucked up the colors got. You guys got to see me fuck up some colors today. Have a good time doing it. I could spend more time on this, building in more texture and like refining some stuff down, because like I really have enjoyed this one and I like where it's going. I could really tighten this further and turn it into like more of a thing. But it's a study, and the fact that I'm getting that out of a study is very, very encouraging for the future. So let's see. We had a raid target. Carla draws. I think they draw. I think this Carla figure draws. So I'm going to pull them up first. So you pull the music down. I'm going to get past the ad. Looks like they're still live. Looks like they're working on some nice anime stuff. They're looking like they're pretty good. So then we're going to do a little raid on Carla draws. Go say hi. Thanks all the chatters who showed up today. Thanks for the donation again. Severa is intended for mature audiences only. See you guys on the other side, and I'll be back on Monday.